What's up, everyone? Today I want to tackle a common question I seen pop up about the new scenario. What should you do to prepare, and what can you expect? As someone who's already been through this transition, I'll share a few tips to improve your gameplay and answer critical questions. Let's start by explaining what this new scenario will involve. From the recent dev stream, we know that it will take place on the same map, but with certain areas specifically designated for PvP and factions. As you can see on the map, there will be two factions, Rosetta and Mayfly. My assumption is that each faction will set their bases in safe locations within their territory. However, I'm curious about how PvE will be balanced considering Rosetta's safe location is in Blackfell, which is a 40 to 50 level area. The map also shows contest areas where PvP will be active, meaning you can kill or get killed. Don't worry though, there is no loot loss upon death, so PvP will be more friendly and less punishing. The main objective is to join a faction and earn points to push your faction towards winning the overall scenario. There will be a new point system called Prism Energy, which you can obtain by capturing Prism deviations. Many of these deviations are obtained similarly to current gameplay. For example, you'll fish for eels, mine silver for Digby, or complete public crisis events in the open world. Since these deviations are a lot easier to acquire, they will reward less points. However, two new ones, Berserkorus Rex and the Radiant one, will only spawn in Phase 2 and 3 respectively. These will be more challenging to secure, but provide significantly more Prism energy. Now, securing these deviations will require you to be in a contested area, and you cannot leave the zone to retreat to a safe area. If you die, leave, or your securement unit gets destroyed, the deviation will reset to its original location. The securement process will take anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours, depending on the value of the Prism energy they provide. But it doesn't stop there. You can raid other factions' base and steal their deviations. Keep in mind though that if you're carrying a deviation, you'll be marked on the map, and the more deviations you have, the more visible you'll be to others. You might be thinking, does this mean I can never go to sleep because I could get raided at any time? Well, don't worry. The devs have added a protection period from midnight to noon, during which your base will receive a 70% damage reduction. Another concern might be balance. What if one faction completely overwhelms the other? To address this, if your faction is leading with 60% of the Prism energy, you'll get a 20% speed boost to securing deviations. If your faction is behind, you'll receive 20% damage reduction to your buildings and a 20% gathering efficiency boost. So it's all about fighting metas rather than just monsters in this scenario. There will be 4 phases in this scenario, 3 contest phases and 1 settlement phase. As we progress, more of the map will unlock. Phase 1 will last 5 days and unlock silos Phi, Sigma, and EX1. For monoliths, we will get Ravenous Hunter, Treant, and Shadow Hound. Phase 2 will open West Blackfell for more PvP and last 7 days, unlocking silos Alpha, PSI, and Spider Monolith. Phase 3 will unlock Ilie and the Forsaken Giant. As your faction gathers more Prism energy, everyone will receive Starcrop, and there will be seasonal goals for each phase that grant more Starcrop and loot crates. In the end, if your faction wins or ties, you'll get 9 special loot crates, while losing will still reward 6 crates. This system feels less punishing for losing, which I think is a great way to keep players motivated. Each faction will have its own leaderboard, and rewards will be given based on individual performance. You'll also be able to link your progress with one other person to share rewards, similar to Nutcracker Nurturing Station event. So far, that's all about the scenario. Now let's dive into some common issues. Whether you've been a part of this journey since day 1, or your scenario isn't showing a sign-up sheet, you might be wondering, am I going to make it in time for day 1 of the next PvP scenario? Now, I haven't signed up for the hard mode scenario from day 1, but like many of you, my sign up screen does not show any sign up information. As you can see, my current phase ends in 3 days, meaning I can't sign up until then. However, we already know signups are live and only 2 servers are scheduled to start on September 26th. I'm recording this on September 24th, and if you do the math, I won't be able to join the PvP server as soon as it unlocks, assuming the first 2 servers will be full. This is frustrating because the devs previously announced that if you sign up in time for the first scenario, you'd also be able to register for upcoming PvE scenario on time. But if those 2 servers fill up before you sign up, you'll be left waiting until the server that starts on 29th. And if you sign up for that, you'll be left behind for the PvE scenario as well. I get that the devs might be trying to create a balance by separating new players from veterans, giving each group fresh ground to explore, but this approach risks alienating long-term players who could be left behind if this continues. Personally, I think the solution is simple. Open more servers that start on the 26th. This way, players won't have to worry about missing out or being delayed. Only opening 2 servers will likely cause them to fill up instantly, leaving players stuck in a limbo. In fact, we recently ran a poll within community, and nearly 50% of players said they are considering skipping the current scenario altogether if it means they will be left behind for the next content drop. This shows that the concern is widespread and people are looking for more flexibility. Now let's say you're fine with being a little late to the upcoming content, starting fresh, or you simply got lucky with signups. Here's some key tips to make your life much easier. If you're moving from an existing scenario, there are a few things you should consider doing first. My biggest advice, make sure to grab your Star Crown crates before moving. They cost 390k EL and will give you 4k Star Crown in total. Also, don't forget to do your purification before switching scenarios, as this resets when you move, allowing you to do one more purification in the new scenario for extra Star Crown. I can't emphasize enough the importance of collecting good calibrations for your builds. Personally, I make sure to use up all my controllers and have at least a dozen good calibrations ready for builds I'm planning to use. Calibrations are cheap to transfer, so you'll be able to move multiple ones with ease. I learned this the hard way when I didn't save mine and had to scramble to find good calibrations to optimize my builds. Speaking of builds, I've made a bunch of videos on different setups, so if you're interested, be sure to check those out. Moving back to the topic, if you're someone who enjoys growing your own farm, I highly recommend gathering some aloe, morel, and contaminated seeds. These will unlock later in the game and are harder to farm, assuming the phase structure will be similar to before. Also, don't forget to get yourself an advanced electric drill with the treasure hunter specialization on it. I don't recommend getting the chainsaw as it was accessible in the first phase of the last scenario. However, the electric drill wasn't available for a week, making it a great tool for farming ores. While the drill will be the most expensive item to transfer, it's worth it for the increased yield on each node. Lastly, I would suggest using rest of your transfer currency on deviations, as they will be crucial for progressing in new scenarios. That's going to be all from me, guys. If you have more questions, drop them in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more Once Human content. Until next time, peace!